Good morning, everyone, or I guess now officially good afternoon in my neck of the woods over here. Welcome to our fifth live stream of the Staple Sweater Knit Along. Today's a little bit different than other live streams because we've worked through like a lot of hard parts, and right now we're just kind of getting caught up and just going over the rest of knitting the body. Um, for today, I'm actually recommending here's like our agenda, our order of business, if you will, is to go over any questions that anyone has wherever they're at in the pattern. So if you're behind, if you're ahead, if you're stuck anywhere, or just want clarification on something, this is a great opportunity to ask it. So if you have any questions, go on and drop them now, or as we're continuing to chat, and then I can get to them later if anyone has any. Um, I'm also going to show how to bind off for the body. So the directions in the pattern are pretty bare bones for binding off. So I've got some recommendations to make sure you have a nice stretchy bind off for your sweater. Because nothing is like worse than having like a tight sweater, or like the tight rim edge of the sweater, and then it's like hard to get on and off. I don't know. Like I feel like it's just a small part that makes a big difference. So we'll be chatting about that a bit more. And at the end, we're going to be talking about or doing a little giveaway. So we have two small giveaways in the middle of the knit along here. And this is our first one today. Both giveaways involve giving away a row counter stitch marker from Twice Sheared Sheep, which I love and use with every project. So I'm super hyped that they collabed with me to have some prizes for this knit along. Um, they're awesome at that. I love working with them too. And they just have such a passion for knitting and the tools that they create. So I love using them and I love to promote them and get people out to know more about them because they've been such a game changer in how I knit. So that'll be exciting. That'll be everyone's eligible. We have a wheel we're going to spin, and that will be fun. And then at the end, I'm going to give you guys your homework and what to be working on for until next live stream. So, um, without further ado, let's just say, like, also give ourselves a pat on the back for all that we have tackled so far. So, if you are up to where we are in the pattern, then you will have tackled casting on, folding the collar, working the German short rows, and the increase plan, and separating the sleeves of your sweater, which is just that's a lot. It's pretty crazy we've tackled all of that in a month, and whether you're ahead or behind, like, I think if you are actively learning and actively making progress, um, I think that's just wonderful, and I've honestly surprised myself in how much I've done. So feel free to comment where you're at if you're joining us live. Let us know where you're at today with your sweater. For me, this is what my whip is looking like. I've got I'm almost I'm a little short on half the body. So the goal for today was to try to get about half the body done. And I definitely have made great progress. So you can see how much I've got under the underarm here. Um, I think I'm not quite at halfway, but I am not working basically most of this week, like after I log off. After I have like a half day of work today. And then I'm trying to be away from my computer as much as possible with my parents visiting for Thanksgiving. So I'm imagining there will be lots of knitting time this week for me. So the goal for this week is to finish knitting the rest of the body, including the bottom ribbing and binding off. Followed by the next 2 weeks, just as a little showcase, preview, if you will. The next 2 weeks are dedicated to one sleeve for each week. It's ambitious. We're on an ambitious timeline here, but you know, hopefully you're able to catch up if you're a little behind. If not, um, let us know like where you're at and what we can do to support. But yeah, so for let me just see. I'm just making sure I've okay, cool. So for binding off. I will say, oh, I also just saw a comment. My comments are kind of hidden for me at the moment. There we go. Good morning from Spokane. I'm about halfway through my increases, hoping to get caught up at some point. Haha. I totally feel that. Um, and I'll also say once you get past the increases, it actually goes a lot faster. Because when you get to this point, like where you have all of your sleeves, sorry, I'm like going off screen. All of your sleeve stitches and your body stitches, that is a lot of knitting. That's a lot of stitches. Like the last few rows of your increase plan take a while. And so I found once I finally finished the increase plan, separated for sleeves, and when you're just knitting the body, you can see there's that many fewer stitches on just the body. It goes so much faster. So hopefully that helps to ease your mind a little bit. Um, and you're able to get through it a bit. And maybe you have some time off this week as well to get caught up. Karen, I'm glad the support has been good. Let us know if you need anything at all. I also have to say, it's been really nice in the Discord to see like now that a lot of people have gotten beyond the trickiest parts, for those who have just been getting caught up, and when they have questions, the people who have already completed that part of the pattern have been jumping in and have been so, so helpful. Um, so it's just taken a lot of pressure off of me, but it's just so cool to see you guys like spreading the love and giving each other support. Which is I it just makes my heart warm and fuzzy and I just love to see it. So that's really cool. Taking it easy with hand pain. Oh, Alex, I saw your message in the chat. I'm so sorry to hear you're experiencing hand pain. Um, So I'm chugging along my increases. I don't mind though, still having a great time. I'm glad you're having a good time. Definitely like don't I mean, I'm sure you're already doing this, but like just don't push yourself, make sure that you do your stretches nice and easy on yourself in terms of doing your stretches. Um, but that's really tough and I hope you feel really better soon. And make sure, yeah, like adequate rest if it gets worse, like even taking a pause on your increases, right, for a few days. But yeah, I hope you feel better soon. I often get surprised when I reach my beginning of round marker now that I'm on the body because it goes way faster. I know. I've been feeling that way too. I'm like, dang. We watched a movie the other night and I was like, I did like half of this while watching one movie, which maybe doesn't seem like much. Um, but it felt like a lot. And also this sweater has been taking a lot because it's quite fine, I have to say, with the gauge for me. So it is just a lot of stitching. But agreed, it goes way faster right now after finishing that dang increase plan. Kelly, I'm only about a quarter of the way through the body. I'll need 2 weeks to finish. My elbow started having a lot of pain, so I slowed down quite a bit. I'm sorry you're having pain too. Maybe we'll do a poll also for next week. Like maybe what we end up doing is pushing the total deadline of the KAL back a week. Maybe like I was kind of thinking about this. Right now it's set for our final celebrations and prizes on the 22nd, but maybe we do that like the week between Christmas and New Year's, right? Um, and that way it just kind of gives people one more week to get caught up and finish and make sure they're resting because it is very quick turnaround and I'm also experiencing that. So don't want anyone hurting themselves and want everyone to have the opportunity to finish. So expect a poll to come out in the Discord and in an email. If not this week, then next week, just to see how we feel about that. I agree, Karen. Support has been so necessary. I think I would have given up if I had been on my own. Oh, I'm so glad that you had support to help you keep going and that everyone has just been so, so good with the support. It's the beauty of a knit along. Am I right? And let's see. Oh, McKenna. I finished my body this weekend and tried it on. Wow, it's definitely oversized. LOL. I think I had disproportional measurements with a large chest, but I love it being so big and cozy. I see. Okay. So bust shaping is definitely something that needs to be added to this pattern. I'm just working on I think I've mentioned this maybe towards the beginning of the knit along, but I'm working on my first patterns right now with bust shaping And I plan on, once it's like fine tuned, going back and updating the staple sweater pattern, probably with a lot of edits or notes that we have made throughout this knit along, but also with bust shaping options. So that way, for people with a large chest, it will be a little bit more proportional and stuff. But I'm still glad that you really like the fit and it being cozy. That's important, and I'm glad that you like it. And Nicole says yes to another week. Okay, noted. Vote for another week from Nicole. Heard, heard for sure. Okay, so again, if anyone has any questions, any sticking points right now, any, if you need pointers to certain resources, let us know in the comments. But I'm just gonna go on real quick for just a couple minutes on my suggestions for binding off. So if we take a look in the pattern, let me share screen super quick to my pattern. Here we go. There we go. I did this. So if you take a look, these are all the body instructions. And basically where we ended up last time was continue knitting until you reach your desired length. Okay. So that's kind of where we're at now. When it gets to your ribbing, do be mindful to switch to needle size 2, so your smaller needle size for the ribbing, like we did for the collar. And you'll just knit one, purl one for however many rounds your pattern says. And then the final instruction is to cast off and weave in the end. But for casting off, my suggestion is to get a nice stretchy bind off. So if you have any favorite stretchy bind offs of your own, go for it, use that. Honestly, my favorite trick, it's like the lazy girl method for a stretchy bind off, is just sizing up your needles a little bit. So you could even just cast off with needle size 1, so it goes back up to a little bit of a larger needle size, or I'd even go up, because I think they're only, are they a millimeter or half a millimeter? I need to remind myself the difference between needle size 1 and needle size 2. Let's see. Yeah, half a millimeter. I would even go up maybe a full millimeter more. So if you have a different needle size, or you could even try, I think if you were to hold the two needle sizes together, kind of like we did for the cast on, that might be too strict, like too wide, and might kind of impact the final edge. It might be a little wavy. Um, but I will probably go up at least 1 millimeter for my bind off, and then just do a long tail bind off, or not long tail. Just do like a regular bind off where you knit one, well, knit two, and then like take the last one, slip it over. Sorry. If I could speak. So basically you knit 2 stitches and then you slip the very first stitch over the second and off your needles and so forth. So then you knit 1, slip the other one off and over. That's typically my go-to. One option that you could do for a stretchy bind off that will take you ages but would probably be very worth it is the Italian stretchy bind off. Just Italian bind off, I think it is. Um, I don't do this often. I've done it like once, and it's beautiful. It took me a while to get the hang of it for the tension and everything to be right. So I kind of had to like do it a little bit and then undo it, which was very tricky. But it takes a long time, but it does have a beautiful edge, very stretchy, very comfortable, good finish. So there's always that recommendation. I've also done one before, which I think it's the recommended bind off I have in my staple skirt pattern. So let me just pull that up actually. I forgot about this one. If this lets me. But it's like a weird little, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's just like a super stretchy bind off. Sorry, one second. Desktop. And skirt. Let's see. Sorry, almost there. Let's see. Ah, yes. Okay. Let me actually share the screen again. So for this one, I think I don't know if I can take a screenshot, but maybe I will and put it in the Discord. I'll definitely put it in the recap email actually. So let me take a screenshot here. But you can use a stretchy bind off method. And I'll link to the video tutorial too. But basically what you do is knit 2 stitches and then you insert your left needle into the front of the 2 stitches and then knit two together. And actually this has a really good finish now that I'm remembering it too. So I might actually do this method and give it a shot and see how I like it. Um, it does take a little bit longer than typical. Uh, like for a regular cast off or bind off method, but it is a very nice and stretchy bind off. So I'll be sure to recommend this as well. But just to be mindful that if you were to do just like a regular bind off, it can have a kind of tight edge. So it's kind of good to play with your preferences for a stretchy bind off. And not just for this pattern, but for other patterns as well. Because a lot of patterns are kind of give similar instructions for binding off. So if you're kind of still new to garment making and following patterns, if you ever see like just bind off, if there's no like real specific instructions for binding off, then maybe you can look into different things that you want. And you kind of pick this up as you go, but just learning like what techniques you like versus what maybe you just prefer to, things you like to level up or change. So, yes, and I will be sure to give a video link for this, which let me put it in the chat right now, actually, while I'm thinking of it. Set on page 8. Let's see. Yes, copy. Allow. Okay, I got the link here. Okay. Now let me also get caught up on, so again, I'll give a recap of these methods in the recap email, and I'll be sure to give a link to that tutorial there as well. Okay, let me get caught up because I saw there's a little discussion. McKenna, I decided this weekend I'm going to knit my husband a sweater for the first time. I'll be doing the staple sweater all ordered all the yarn this weekend. That's awesome. I have a couple thoughts on adding design via color work that I'd love to chat through with anyone familiar with color work, perhaps on a side chat, not to take away from the Cal chat. I think that's a wonderful idea. And honestly, I don't have too much experience with color work. So I think that would be a great one to put in the Cal chat and see if any have more suggestions than I could provide. So I think that's a great idea. But I know that I haven't seen many people do color work for the staple sweater, which I would love to see more of, whether it's color work or even just a duplicate stitch pattern like over the front of it or wherever. Um, but I have seen people apply, there's like this designer, I think she's called Doodle Knits, and she does little color work motifs for socks, I believe, mostly for socks. And I've seen people apply her motifs to the staple sock pattern, like along the cuff, and it's very, very pretty. So it's definitely doable, and I would love to see what comes out of that chat as well, because I'd like some tips of my own. Cool. So I hope to see that pop up. And awesome. All right. So we talked through that as well as binding off. So I guess now it's giveaway time, which is pretty dang exciting. So let me pull up this here. So for this giveaway, again, everyone who is in the knit along I put their email as like in the spinner. I'll show you. Let me share my screen. But yeah, everyone is eligible. For the next one, I have a little bit of a different thought, but we can chat through that after we select here. So, as you can see, everyone has a single entry based off of their email address, and we are going to do one spin to see who the winner is. So without further ado, let's spin this wheel. looks like someone Courtney, perhaps? Someone named Courtney. I'll be sure to reach out and see what they would like. So what's cool with this is that let me share this tab instead. Congratulations to that person for winning. Um, what's cool with this is that um, the the row counter stitch marker, like I can't chat up enough. Um, and I just wanted to show you guys like for those of you who haven't really checked out Twice Sheared Sheep yet, their knitting notions are so, so cool. But for the row counters, they have so many different options. So I'll be reaching out to Courtney. I'm assuming name is Courtney. Sorry if it's not. Um, to see what charm they would like, as well as which size, because I have three different sizes: small, medium, large for different knitting needle sizes. I've used the small for sock yarn. I use the medium for most of my projects, and then the large is for like bulky. And they come in they have so many different charms that are so cute, but they come with either being, I will say, let's see, it's like a straight chain or this one's a shorty chain, which is, I guess, handy for like color work and things. I've also used it for little projects just to keep count. Or they have circular chains like the one that is on my needles, like this, which I prefer the circular ones because the long chain one kind of gets caught up in my knitting a lot. So just having it be shorter with the circle is very, very handy. Um, but yeah, I also put a link to Twice Your Cheap down below if you want to check out more of their stuff. I honestly like love how cute they have, like, an Alice in Wonderland themed stuff. Um, they have so many different flowers. This dinosaur is so cute. Um, so yeah, anyway, you can get excited for that for the next, giveaway we have, which will be not next week, but the week after. So, it's gonna be the same deal. It's a row counter giveaway, but, for the next one, I was thinking we'd do something a little different where instead of just having everyone's name in the board or whatever, we can vote and have maybe like the chat champion or something like that. Like to have people vote to say who has been the most helpful and active in the chat and see who gets nominated and then see maybe who gets voted the most. I would say if there's a tie, maybe we do a wheel spin. Um, but I think that that would be really fun. So let me know what you guys think. But I would love to just kind of give some support to those who have been so active in the chat and so helpful. So I think that that would be a fun way to spread the love there because I know that they haven't helped just me, but a lot of us, right? Um, so yeah, congrats again to the winner. And I guess that's basically it. So for homework for this week, the goal is to finish the body, including casting off your bind off edge. So basically finishing the body. And then next week, we're going to be tackling um, picking up stitches for our first sleeve. And I also just want to say homework bonus if you want. I've been falling behind. I need to get better at this, and this is what I'm challenging myself with. But um, logging in your Ravelry project how things are going. So maybe as you finish the body or as you're working through the body, anything that has come up for thoughts, things that you would do differently next time, um, notes of things that you did differently than the pattern this time, then please be sure to, update your Ravelry project for your future self and thank yourself later. Thank you so much for everyone being here today. Appreciate you being a part of the knit along, and I hope for those of you in the States, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving this week, and I will see you next week, and I'll see you in the Discord. All right, everyone, have a great day. I'll talk to you later.